Hello. I'd like to spend 5 minutes to talk to you about the importance of measuring your apron lighting levels. Now, whenever I give a presentation on apron flood lighting, and that could be at venues all around the world actually, even online, I often like to ask the question to the airports of how many airports actually have a regular audit of the apron lighting levels. Then I ask how many have done it in the last 6 months. And then I ask if they have a documented process to do so. And surprise, surprise, less than 50% of the hands remain up for all those three questions. And I think that it's incredibly important to ensure that you do have a system in place to measure your lighting levels. The reason is not only because you are required to do so by your aerodrome license. You have to comply with often national and international regulation, such as EASA, or national levels like CAP 168 in the UK. You have to comply with maybe industry recommended practices or health and safety rules. So quite often these are very strict and you need to show compliance. And the way you have to do that is show that you've done that every year. But not only for compliance, there's also the aspect of operational efficiency. If your lighting isn't up to the mandated required levels, it typically means that it's not up to a very high level and very good quality. And so that could impact your operations, that could impact your ground staff mood, it could even in fact impact how your passengers perceive their experience at your airport. But thirdly, and I think most importantly, is that if you should have an accident or an incident, or even a near miss on your apron, and the lighting isn't up to the required levels, that will typically invalidate your insurance. And that could open you up not only to large costs, but also possibly even litigation risks. So to avoid that, what you need to always know is that your lighting levels are at least at the minimum requirements. And these are typically 20 lux average on the apron with a uniformity of 4:1. And that uniformity is also as important as the average. We mustn't forget that, and therefore we must be measuring both the average lux levels and the uniformity. Now, I think it's important to remember that whenever your lighting system goes in, be that a metal halide or a LED or sodium high pressure, they will typically degrade. And they will not only degrade because of time and bulb change requirements, but also because dust and dirt and pollution and sand can build up on the outside of the luminaire. And unless that's cleaned regularly, and in many cases it's not, if that's not cleaned regularly, you will have a depreciation curve, which is quite steep. So in order to be able to understand when you will reach compliance, when you're out of compliance, you really need to map out that curve and understand that in 2 years' time, or 3 years' time, judging by the degradation levels, we're going to be not compliant and we need to take action. And that could be cleaning of the lenses, that could be other kind of remedial action, whether it's improving the light output or changing the luminaires or changing the bulbs or increasing the quantity. All of these solutions are available, but you need to know your baseline. And even though it seems like a large task in order to achieve that, I think it's important to be able to just break up the airport into 12 or 24 sections and do it every month or every 2 weeks. And that way you can cover a small section, and at the end of the year, you have the whole system mapped out with light levels. A system that's documented, trained operatives will allow you to confidently say at any time of the year, should there be an incident, an accident, or even an inspection, that yes, we're compliant and here are the records. Now, if you're not sure about how to approach this, please go to our website and download the photometric guide. It's a document that's been worked on for many years, and really it will allow you to use that as the basis for your own documents and create your own system that you can then audit and comply to. So if you have any questions, reach out, check our knowledge hub on the website, and if you need any more help, then reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to guide you through the process. Thank you and have a nice day.